From a dive so insane it ruined a player's career to a handball so crazy it almost started a continental war. These are the 25 cheating moments in football history. And first up, Neymar had an entire country hating on him. When it comes to the spotlight, Neymar can't miss. He's always in the headlines, like in the match against Gamba Osaka. See, even though PSG was expected to win, the locals still wanted Gamba Osaka to put up a fight. And on their part, they did. Until Neymar decided he was done playing fair, and when he found an advantage in the box, he took it. He dribbled his way into the penalty area, and just when it looked like he was going to cut inside and shoot, Neymar did something else which almost fooled everyone.
Pick out Neymar, who looks for the angle and is...
In real time, it looked like the defender fouled Neymar, but once the replays came up, the truth was out. Neymar dived his way to winning this one, and when the locals saw the stuff he'd just done, they whistled at him till the end of the game. I dunno man, maybe Neymar's used to it, because this isn't the first time he's cheated his way to winning a penalty. The last time he did it was to create a comeback that should have never happened. Now here's the deal, in 2017, Barcelona and PSG clashed in an epic Champions League match that had everything. See, after losing the first leg 4-0, Neymar and Barca knew if they were going to stage a comeback at home, they'd have to do the impossible. At the time, no one had ever turned a 4-0 first leg defeat in Champions League history. But Neymar had come up with a plan to make sure his team found a way to pull this one off somehow. And it involved getting the PSG players to do the dirty work for him. All he had to do was wait for the right moment. And as soon as he saw Thomas Meunier lose grip and start falling over, the plan was in full motion. He dived into Meunier and the ref bought it. I mean, come on, what the heck? If you thought this was bad, you've got to see the stuff Neymar's teammate, Luis Suarez, pulled in the same match. Okay, I think I get it now. Neymar and Suarez were in on the same game plan. When it comes to the dark arts of cheating, Suarez is a pro. The guy does this type of stuff for a living. The ball got scooped into his path over the top, and looking at this one again, Suarez knew he wasn't going to get to this one first. But that wasn't going to stop him from making the most out of the situation. So after judging the flight of the ball, Suarez played a fast one on the PSG backline. I don't know which one's funnier, the Suarez dive or the fact that the ref bought it. Either way, he gave the pen, Neymar scored, and in the end, Barca somehow managed to pull the greatest comeback in Champions League history. But it should have never happened. I'm pretty sure Suarez would have been hitting that evil smile somewhere in the locker room. This isn't his first time. He's been in the dark arts since 2010, when he made an entire continent hate him. The World Cup knockout stages. Coming into the quarterfinals, Uruguay was the only team standing in the way of Ghana making history. Before the tournament, no African country had ever made it to the semi-finals of the World Cup. All Ghana had to do was beat Uruguay and they'd make history. When it happened, the game was 1-1, heading into the final minutes of extra time. Ghana had a free kick near the touchline, and after a goalmouth scramble, Dominic Adia got his head to it and looked like he scored a goal to send Ghana to the semis. But Suarez said no, a handball to clear it away. The ref saw this one, saw the stuff Suarez did, and immediately sent him off. But in the end, Suarez had the last laugh. Guyana missed the penalty, and in the shootout minutes later, Uruguay won and knocked Ghana out. Tough. I bet there's no way Suarez is ever taking a holiday to Ghana. Now I can kind of make an excuse for Suarez cheating with a handball, and him trying to rescue his national team on the biggest stage. But Cristiano Ronaldo's cheating handball looks like the dude decided to switch sports mid-game. In 2016, Ronaldo was at the top of the game, but it seems like Ronaldo didn't just want to be popular in football only. He wanted to pull off an athletic crossbreed. In the second leg versus City at the Bernabeu, Madrid took a 1-0 lead into this, but with the way City was playing, Ronaldo knew the lead wasn't safe. So my man decided to take matters into his own hands. Literally.
Still battling for it, Ronaldo!
LeBron James has got nothing on Ronaldo. Slam dunk in a Champions League semi-final? Epic. Unfortunately though, the ref didn't see it like that. He spotted Ronaldo's handball, called it back, and gave City the foul. Shame man, what could have been? In Ronaldo's mind, he'd have been the first athlete to pull two sporting moves in a major game. Oh, my bad, he won't have been the first. His arch rival beat him to this one years back. Lionel Messi. See, in 2007, Messi was the hottest young prospect in the game. At the time, Messi's Barca team was facing Espanyol in the league, the Catalan derby. But with 32 minutes gone, against the odds, they were losing. This turned into added pressure on Messi and his teammates, but what they didn't know was that Messi was determined to seize this moment and make it his own, even if it meant cheating his way through. After getting involved in the play from deep, the ball went out wide, and following a cross into the box, Messi reacted quicker than everyone else and scored. Okay, I'll rewind this one a bit, now watch it slowly. Yep, Messi's goal was illegal because he used his hand to stick it in. The entire Espanyol team saw what Messi did, but apparently the ref didn't, because he gave the goal. And Messi had turned himself into a local hero, a legend already. I used to think this was the craziest handball I'd seen in the game until I saw the stuff Thierry Henry did. That almost started a national war. In 2009, Henry and France were in a difficult situation. They were trying to qualify for the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, but to do that, they'd have to beat the Republic of Ireland in a two-legged playoff for a ticket. On paper, France should have been winning this one easily. They won the first leg away at Ireland 1-0, but after Robbie Keane scored, France was losing at home, and the game was a tie on aggregate. It went into extra time, and Henry had seen enough. He was now desperate to get his team over the line no matter what. And after Florent Malouda floated a free kick into the area and it bounced over everywhere, Henry reacted quicker than anyone else to the ball and grabbed the World Cup ticket for France. Handball, but the ref didn't see it. The match was so heated that after the game, the Irish FA took the case to court, demanding that the match get replayed because of Henry's handball. They were ready to fight for it. Unfortunately though, FIFA didn't care that much and allowed Henry's handball to stand. The Irish were out. The World Cup has seen some pretty shady moments over the years, but even Henry's handball has got nothing on the time Rivaldo hit a dirty move at the showpiece event. Brazil versus Turkey in the 2002 World Cup, and Rivaldo made the headlines for the wrong reasons. Now before this, he'd been tipped as one of the guys to steal the show, thanks to his skills and ability on the ball. But he left all of that and went dark. With time running out, Brazil was winning the game 2-1, and looked like they'd be all good for the win. But Rivaldo wanted to make sure it stayed that way himself, and that's when he decided to cheat his way to stealing the deal. I mean, come on. For a second I thought he was seriously injured, but the guy was just faking it. Disgusting. In the end, Rivaldo got fibbed $4,500 by FIFA. But to be honest, it doesn't do any justice to what he did on the pitch that day. A disgrace. Heck, he even had another generation copying his cheating tricks years later. The 2010 Champions League final, Barcelona versus Inter Milan, and Sergio Busquets was running the show. After losing the first leg 3-1 in Milan, Busquets already knew that if they wanted to make the final weeks later, they'd have to do a job back home. He realized it'd be a lot easier trying to win with a spare man. So he tricked his way into getting Thiago Motta sent off with the dirtiest trick in the book. Faked the foul when the ref wasn't looking, and the guy fell for it. Look at his face. Motta didn't hurt him. However, Busquets only did half the job. Inter managed to keep the score at 1-0 later on and knocked Busquets and Barca out. Apparently the only thing cheating like Busquets get you is a point, and he proved that himself. Barcelona versus Cadiz in La Liga last season. A game Barca was expected to win, but with seconds left to play, the scores were tied at 0-0, and Barca was even at risk of losing all 3 points. Cadiz had the ball down the right, and once Salvi Sanchez cut in and whipped a cross into the area for his teammate to get onto, he scored and got the winner for Cadiz until the ref pulled back play for something everyone had missed. Busquets sneakily hit a second ball on the pitch, and according to the rules, it's illegal to have 2 balls on the field at the same time, meaning the Cadiz goal wasn't gonna stand. Busquets took the yellow card for it, but he got the Cadiz goal off. Dark. If you think Busquets is dark, wait till you see the guy who cheated his way to winning a Champions League final for his team, Sergio Ramos. In 2018, Ramos was the captain of the Real Madrid team that made it to the final against Liverpool, and coming into this one, he had one job, and that was to make sure Madrid won at all costs. Now, Ramos had already realized Liverpool's star man was gonna be Mohamed Salah. He'd scored over 40 goals that season, so Ramos made it his mission to make sure Salah didn't get any action during the game. But once the game started and Salah started skipping away, well, Ramos wasn't gonna take any actions, so he hit mission destruct, and seconds later, for Salah, it was game over. Ramos took him out clean. And the best part was he didn't even get a card for it. Salah's match was over. Madrid won the game 3-1. Ramos took the title, and to rub it in, when they met months later, Ramos made sure to remind Salah that he still remembered. Faking it just to win? Hey, I've seen this one before. Oh yeah, Dani Alves in the biggest game in Spain, El Clasico, and the 2011 version was heated. This one was even more because it was an El Clasico in the Champions League semi-finals, with a ticket to the final on the line. And instead of waiting like everyone else, all the winners of this one would have to do to get in on exclusive Mr. Football action would be to hit that subscribe button down below. Amazing! Dani Alves probably realized just how important this one was quicker than anyone else, and he had Pepe in his trap real quick. At this point, I'm thinking the Barca motto is probably to try to win the game with a man advantage, because Dani Alves didn't even wait. As soon as he saw Pepe flying in for the tackle, he played on it and got Pepe looking confused. Pepe didn't even touch Dani Alves. Didn't need him to. He played right into his trap and got sent off. I mean, this was dirty, but Alves played the part in making the ref believe. David Luiz, he didn't even try. David Luiz was still playing for Chelsea at the time when they faced Manchester United in the league, and Luiz was trying to make sure his team defended the lead they had. It was 1-0 to Chelsea, and with time running out, David Luiz's instructions were simple. Keep the score that way and take all 3 points. United wasn't going to sit back and watch Chelsea take all 3 points at home, so when Rafael went speeding towards the Chelsea half trying to win the ball off David Luiz, it was with aggression. But you see, David Luiz had been in the game for too long, and once he saw Rafael charging like that, he knew he could spin the situation to his advantage. And in a matter of seconds, he had Rafael struggling to believe what had just happened. Look at the smirk on Luiz's face. He knew, if you're gonna fake it, at least do it like Luiz, and not like Ciro Immobile. Euro 2021, the quarter-finals, Italy versus Belgium in a tough match, and Immobile was Italy's main man up top. Immobile wanted to win the game for Belgium in any way possible, even if it meant cheating and turning himself into a clown on national TV. So get this, the ball breaks in the box. Immobile dives like he's just been hit like an asteroid on the foot, and minutes later, yo, what the heck? Maybe it's a striker thing to know how to dive like that. Immobile and Tammy Abraham. Now, to be fair, there's no way you'd play under Jose Mourinho and not learn a thing or two about cheating. Mourinho's the ultimate cheat in the game. See, Roma was 1-0 in the Europa Conference League final, and get this, they hadn't won a major trophy in over 60 years. Seconds left to play, and Abraham already knew the drill. Keep the ball in the opposition half no matter what. Abraham understood the assignment. Can't even lie, this one looks funny in slow-mo. The wink right there was classic. Unfortunately, it feels like the Feyenoord guys are always on the receiving end of crazy moments like this. Abraham's moment was in the final to win a trophy. Antony's cheating moment was to make them look dumb. Ajax versus Feyenoord in a huge game in the Dutch Eredivisie. And with the scores at 3-2 in dying minutes, Ajax's captain, Dusan Tadic, was all about making sure they saw out the game. Antony got fouled after going for a 50-50 ball, and when he went down and stood up seconds later, Tadic wasn't having it, so he pushed his teammate over just to see the team win. This has got to be peak shithousery. Even the Feyenoord coach, Arne Slot, was laughing. See guys, it's not just outfield players who have been caught cheating in the game. Heck, even goalies do it too. In the 2019-20 Champions League season, Borussia Dortmund was facing Barcelona on the opening day of their group stage match, and Dortmund went at Barca from the first minute. Eventually all that pressure paid off because Dortmund won a pen after a foul in the Barca box, and Marco Reus stepped up to take it. All he had to do was slam it past his German teammate Manuel Neuer to give Dortmund the lead, but Ter Stegen is no slouch, guessed the right way and saved it. But looking at the save again, the replays showed that Ter Stegen came off his line way early and cheated to make the save. Sorry man, but after this there's no way I'm calling you a superhero anymore. That's cheating. Still, this wasn't as horrible as the time Marvin Hitz botched a guy's kick so bad he made him look like a flop. Augsburg versus Cologne in the Bundesliga, and this was supposed to be a regular game in the league, but minutes into the match something happened that people simply couldn't stop talking about. Now, Cologne had won a penalty, and Anthony Modeste stepped up and was all looking prepared to take it. Augsburg goalie Marvin Hitz knew this too, so when the ref wasn't looking, he found a way to dig his team out of the difficult situation, and minutes later, it worked. Modeste only slipped and missed that bad because Hitz had set him up with his kick seconds earlier. By watching the penalty spot. Now, since the ref didn't see it, Hitz got away with a quick one there. But the time another dude tried Hitz's cheating move in La Liga, he made Cristiano Ronaldo so mad, CR7 wanted to punch the guy. Ronaldo was repping Real Madrid when they faced Sevilla away from home in La Liga, and as the game went on, Madrid started dominating, and pretty soon they got a pen. Now, with Ronaldo on the pitch, everyone knew who was going to take it. I mean, it's Ronaldo, he doesn't miss. Sevilla's Vitolo knew this too, and so he came up with a dirty plan to set Ronaldo up by using Hitz's move and rigging up the penalty spot so Ronaldo could slip and fall. But CR7 had eyes on the ball and the spot the whole time, and once he caught Vitolo trying to do him dirty, he wasn't having it. Damn, Ronaldo was so mad he looked like he wanted to take on Vitolo in a fight. Ronaldo stopped Vitolo in time and kept his spot clean, took the kick and scored. Vitolo's lucky though, because I'm pretty sure if the ref had caught him trying to rig the spot, he could have given him a card. Just like this ref caught Verratti trying to cheat in a league match on all fours. In his prime, Verratti was one of the best midfielders of his generation and a smart guy too. So smart that he thought he could cheat his way through an entire system. See, according to the rules of the game, it's illegal for a player to deliberately pass the ball back to the goalie with his foot, and Verratti knew this too. But in the league game versus Nantes, he came up with a new trick that he thought could beat the system, but the ref didn't buy it and booked Verratti for what he called unsportsmanlike behavior. That's just a fancy way of telling Verratti he knew what he was up to and caught him in 4K. Wasn't just in France referees were busting players trying to pull this one off. Over in Italy, Ivan Perisic tried the same thing too. Perisic was playing for Inter Milan in a Serie A league match versus Roma when he thought he could use the same trick Verratti had months back. In the 64th minute, Perisic had the ball in his team's penalty box, and since he didn't want to take any chances, he thought he'd play smart by flicking the ball and chesting it back to the goalie. But the ref immediately went on his case ASAP. Yeah, FIFA, we get it, no bending of the rules. Well, at least Perisic wasn't time wasting like Kylian Mbappe. In the 2018 World Cup, Mbappe was the most talked about young player of the tournament, but this didn't always mean that he made the headlines for the right reasons though. In the semi-finals versus Belgium, he showed that he could play dirty too. France had a 1-0 lead heading into the dying seconds of the game, and like any team trying to protect the advantage, Mbappe wanted to keep the ball up in the opposition half. But when he lost it, instead of allowing Belgium to quickly throw the ball in and restart the match, Mbappe decided he was going to play games with the opposition defense. Truth is, Mbappe was deliberately time wasting, even hit a dolphin dive, and the ref booked him for it. But now guys, it's into the top 3, and this next dude wanted to win so bad, he was determined to eat his way through the opposition. In the 2014 World Cup, Uruguay and Italy faced off in a group stage match that had millions watching. For Luis Suarez, just like he'd shown 4 years earlier, he'd do anything to see his team win, and take out anyone that stood in his way. It was Giorgio Chiellini's job to mark Suarez all game, but Suarez wasn't exactly happy with the dude detailing him throughout the match. And after Chiellini showed that he was ready to stop him from scoring goals all afternoon, well, Suarez went into vampire mode. Count Dracula, the Luis Suarez edition. I bet Suarez was trying to bite and injure Chiellini so he'd stop marking him or get subbed off. But Chiellini is made up of tougher stuff. And worse for Suarez, after the game, FIFA got involved, and they banned him from playing football for 7 months. Damn, almost as crazy as number 2, when Vinicius Jr. tried to start a war in El Clasico over a dive. The 2022 El Clasico at the Bernabeu, and for this one, both teams were wearing away jerseys for the first time in like ever. I don't know if it had to do with the jerseys, but Madrid started poorly and were behind with 9 minutes left to the end of the first half. Vinny wasn't gonna just let his team down like that, so once Madrid hit on the counter, he broke away and found himself in the Barca penalty area. But that was as good as it got, because after that, the stuff Vinny tried to do next was a disgrace. He tried to buy the foul out of nothing, and even wanted to fight with the Barca guys because of it. Now Vinny, I'm a huge fan, but come on, that was sad. Still, Vinny's got nothing on the dude who's at number 1, and this guy cheated his way to one of the most famous moments in football history, and even pissed off the Queen. The 1986 World Cup quarter-finals, Argentina versus England, was all set to be an epic. The Argentina fans watching knew that if their team was gonna get a result out of this one, they'd need Maradona at his best. More like added pressure on the guy, and in return, Maradona was feeling the heat. In a game like this, Maradona knew if his team was gonna win, he'd have to pull off something over the top, something no one had ever seen before. And that's when he decided to introduce the Hand of God. Whoa! Everyone in the stadium saw Maradona touch it with his hand, the English players, the Argentine players, and even the fans. But somehow none of the referees saw it. I even heard the Queen was so mad she couldn't believe it. Maradona's new cheat move was so crazy, it forced a rule change straight from FIFA HQ. And that's why I decided to make a list of the 7 football tricks that have been banned from football. And it's all in the next video.